Welcome to the video. We have here durianrider. Durianrider probably. I was going to do the Tour de France this year, but I was in Thailand, so I had to forfeit my invitation. So we have durianrider here, cyclist, Adelaide, South Australia, on the giant TCR, running the lightweights. This video, how to use a power meter, why e-bikes is the future of cycling, and how to eat for climbing. Let's start with why e-bikes is the future of training. Now, traditionally in road cycling, road racing, we would sit behind a gurney or a motorbike for motor pacing, or a car. This is very, very dangerous because the car obviously hit the brakes, you can smash in the back of the car. A motorbike, you got the pollution, it's a little bit less dangerous. But with the bicycle, with an e-bike, you've got no motor noise, you've got no pollution, you just got that wheel, you can hit the gears, you can hit the pedals, so it's very, very real world. I'm a big believer in pragmatic training advice. So what you want to do in training is what you want to be doing in racing, and vice versa. What you do in racing is what you want to do in training. So I'm a big believer in racing, you don't sit behind a car. I mean, if you do, then you need to train that. In racing, you don't sit behind a motorbike, but if you do, you need to train that. In racing, you do sit behind another cyclist, so in training, you need to know how to do that. And there's a time when it's appropriate to draft cars, etc., but that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is why e-bikes are the future, because you can get an e-bike. I've got my training partner Troy on the front of this e-bike, and I know what speed I have to do to get a certain time. I know what speed I have to do to get a certain time up this climb. I've done this climb maybe 1,000 times in the last 20 years, so I know this climb very, very well. So I'm just basically saying what speed to sit at, and being so if we're doing like 25k an hour, I'll just say 5. If we're doing 9k an hour, I'll just say 9. So, and my pilot coach there is just will calibrate the speed to my request. So I know my power meter, I need to average at least 350 watts to PR in this climb. To do a sub 13 or a low 13, I need at least 330 to 40 to 50 watts on this climb. Depends on the wind as well. And depends if you're in a big bunch. If you're in a big bunch, you get a huge benefit on Norton Summit. So ideal situation with Norton Summit is at least 5 riders, and be up in there sitting on them. The Tour Down Under come up through here last year and just fist fucked the whole Strava segment. So the Tour Down Under just came on and just stripped it all. So I used to be like 11th at Norton Summit, now I'm like 67th or something. Tour Down Under, 120 riders has come up and blitzed it. It's a big, fast climb, Norton Summit. Anyway, so the future of e-bikes is in pacing and commuting. The e-bike domination is not going away. E-bike's an incredible part of your training modalities. So get an e-bike if you want to get fitter. If you're even if you're like obese, overweight, out of shape, an e-bike will help you get on the bike. If you have an injury, an e-bike will help you get out there. So e-bikes definitely will help fitness. If you're really fit like me, an e-bike will help if you've got an injury or recovery, or an e-bike will help you as a pacing tool. Get someone on the e-bike and you can pace on them up the hills. So the e-bike's a really, really, really valuable tool there. It's better than the motorbike. It's better than the car. So yeah. So we're riding up the hill here, and you notice I stay about a foot away from the gutter at all times. About a foot away. There's cars behind waiting to pass, but they'll pass when it's safe. It's a double line. Double line means you can't legally pass. So we have to wait till that double line goes. So I'm just sitting about a foot away from the gutter, and I'm not even focusing on the cars behind me because I'm doing my TT. By staying, I'm holding my line, and that car waits till the double line's gone, and then boom, goes. So the drivers here follow the rules pretty good, most of them, 99% of them. And so I'm staying about a foot away from the gutter, which means that's where all the leaf litter is, the glass or whatever. So if you're staying next to the gutter, the car will just squeeze through. And if maybe there's a bit of glass or a rock and you got to swerve out, then you can swerve into the path of the car. So always stay about a foot away from the gutter and just hold that line. Hold that line. Don't be zigzagging in and out of the road. Just hold that line. If there's parked cars ahead of you, take the lane. Don't be zigzagging in and out of parked cars, because someone might be looking on their phone, looking down when you're behind a car, and then look up, they can see you, and boom. So always hold the line, take the lane, hold that foot off the gutter. So be predictable cyclist, and be visible. You'll notice that I've got fluorescent orange socks on there. So that's called biomotion, because it's something bright that's moving, and that triggers the human eye more than anything. Bright flashing or bright moving, called biomotion. So before this TT, I did have a vegan pizza. I went to Domino's Australia and I had a vegan pizza about 10 minutes before this TT. I had a whole fucking pizza to myself, a whole vegan pizza at Domino's Australia. And I did that because I knew I was going to suffer more. So I went up, some of this big pizza in my gut, and I was really struggling to breathe. Because more blood is diverted to your digestive tract, and so your legs and lungs and heart can't use it as much. So by having less food in your gut, you'll be able to go faster. That's why sugar water is so powerful. I learned that from the Kenyans. They just drink sugar water before marathons, so you're really light. A bit of salt in there as well, so you're not too low blood pressure. But yeah, sugar water is fantastic for weight loss, fantastic for going fast. So I did this more as a mental thing. I had the vegan pizza, because Indie Pack's all about riding when you've got a full gut. Indie Pack's all about riding when you're just sick of food, but you got to eat and you got to keep moving. So I did this little Indie Pack inspired Norton Summit TT on a whole vegan pizza, maybe 10 minutes before the start. And so I'm in the hurt box here, but I'm trying not to show it in my face. I'm trying to keep my body language positive, confident, alpha. Be alpha on the climbs. Alpha like durianrider until unless it hits 400 watts, and then we're going backwards. But we're cruising on here, so my upper body's really relaxed, so I can breathe. And I'm out the saddle, see I'm swaying the bike left, right. It's a lot easier to move your bike. You can tell an experienced rider by how they ride out the saddle. As simple as that. I can tell an experienced rider by how they ride out the saddle. If they're very stiff out the saddle, meaning their bike doesn't move, I know they're a noob. If their bike sways side to side, I know they're quite an experienced rider. So that's always another little secret there. If an experienced rider can rock the bike, a noob can't do that. I haven't learned that yet. But it's a very important skill. It lets you get a lot fitter, because you can get out the saddle and actually fly up the climbs a lot easier. So in the saddle, out the saddle, a fast climb like this, you want to be in the saddle most of the time, but you want to get out the saddle every few minutes just to keep the blood going in your legs, friction less on your saddle, things like that. And I find just alternating in the saddle, out the saddle every few minutes definitely helps keep the momentum going. But primarily you want to be in the saddle on the climb, especially a fast climb like this. If your body mass index is under 19, you could probably get away with being out the saddle more, but otherwise you're better being in the saddle and just cruising along. So this is a sort of halfway point, Norton Summit. We're coming a long stretch there, and we're just cruising up there. So I've got my mountain bike shoes on. I don't really like road shoes. I find they're hard to defend yourself in. I find they're hard to walk around in. I find the cleats wear out a lot. So I just use mountain bike shoes. And I've never been dropped from using mountain bike shoes. I've never been dropped because I had a compact crank on my bike, ever. I got, so yeah, out the saddle, you can see this bike swagging. So there's all these misconceptions. You can't use mountain bike shoes, you won't get the power. So come and beat my time at Norton Summit. Like, not many people have beaten my time unless they're pro level riders. So, and that's in mountain bike shoes. So if I can big note myself, is to benefit of mountain bike shoes. They work just as good, and it's a lot easier to walk around in. Road shoes don't suit my lifestyle. If they suit your lifestyle, power to you. Road shoes don't suit my lifestyle. They don't suit my cycling personality, and they don't suit my style of cycling. My style of cycling is adventure based. It's sort of racing based. It's sort of, it's aggressive riding. It's adventure riding. It's climb a tree. It's climb a fence, jump a fence. It's fight against the redneck sort of cycling. I find road shoes, you're pretty much useless in a fight, as I've experienced in the past. You can't really do much. If someone picks on you when you're wearing road shoes, then there's not much you can really do, because you're going to fall over. Even if you land a punch, you're going to slip around. So ever since last year, I went back to mountain bike shoes. And so we're on the road bike. We talked about the diet, at least 3 hours before your last meal on a TT. So have your last meal at least 3 hours. Anything less than that, unless you have sugar water, then you can have sugar water maybe an hour out. But if you're talking about like a meal, like 1,000 calorie meal, at least 3 hours to let that food digest. Otherwise, your blood's going to be less in your legs and more in your stomach digesting food. And that's the power of vegan lifestyle. Vegan means you use less blood to digest your food, because plant foods, scientifically we know plant foods digest easier. It's easier to digest fruit or some rice that has fiber in there, or just some sugar water that doesn't have any fiber, but it just digests perfectly, than it is some meat or even some oil. Oil is very, very hard to digest. So first thing to cut out to be a better climber would be meat. Any eggs, fish, chicken, cut all those things out. Cockroaches, cut all out, all animal products, and you're going to have a lot better digestion. You're going to have more blood in your legs. You're going to go faster relative to otherwise. And then cut out the dairy. For the dairy can clog up your lungs, more mucus, for more sodium caseinate and casein, etc. So they definitely recommend vegan lifestyle. I know a lot of pro riders. I know Cadell Evans. I know a lot of Lance Armstrong. They would eat vegan foods, or mostly vegan foods, before big races to cut weight and to have better digestion, better blood flow all over the body. Also translates to the bedroom relative. It's all relative, all right? So going vegan won't turn you into Lance Armstrong, but if you're Lance Armstrong level, vegan diet's going to help you. If you're Joe Blow level, vegan diet's going to help you. It's going to help you, man. High-carb vegan diet, I should say. Less oil. Less oil is better than more, because oil can make your red blood cells stick together. So we talked about the e-bike. It's the power of the way of the future. We talked about when to eat, at least 3 hours, your last meal before a TT. Let's talk about power meter. I know my watts for this climb is going to be between 330 and 350, depending on how much I'm weighing, or more so the wind. The wind up Norton Summit can be quite windy, headwind, so you have to put more power for the same time. So I know what speed I have to do, and so I just basically not looking at my power meter right now. I'm just feeling it in my legs in terms of speed. I know what we need to do, and I'll add an extra K or take a K off depending on how I'm going. So I'm not looking at my power meter. I'm just zoning out. I'm recording my power, but I'm looking at it afterwards. And when I look back at analytics, I pace this really, really well. So I've been riding for 20 years using the power meter since 2009. So I know my body really, really well. And I always keep power data though, because power data is just great to back up what you're saying or back up what you're thinking. And so I definitely recommend power meter. But if you don't have anyone to pace you, then a power meter is really good because you can pace off the power on the power meter. So basically, if you got to do 300 watts of the climb, then you sit on 300. How do you know though how much power you're going to produce? What you do is you go up the climb, don't look at your power, just put your power meter on your bike, calibrate it, go up the climb, go full gas, upload to Strava when you get home or whenever, and then look at what your average power was. Let's say your average power for the 20-minute climb was 200 watts. Now, next time you start at 200 watts. You don't start at 300 or 400 or 150. You start around 200 watts, and you just try and hold that for the duration of the climb. Some people, what they do is they try and do 400 watts for the first minute, and then just trying to ride in lactate the whole way up. But that's not how it works. People, I want to give myself a head start, get a buffer. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. The fastest times are actually called negative splits, meaning that the last half is faster than the first half. This applies to the marathon. This applies even for the mile. So you want to make sure you got something left in the tank. Not too much, but enough. It's like pouring a glass of water against the clock. You're pouring a glass of water over an hour. You don't want to run out of water. You don't have any left over. You want to have the last drop on that 59, boom. And that's what power meter will help you do, is help you learn how to pace better. So you understand what power you can do for a 5-minute climb, a 10-minute climb, a half-an-hour climb, 1-hour climb, etc. Or indie pack for that matter. Indie pack wattage will be about 150 or less. Anything more than that is going to overly fatigue yourself, and there's no need to do that. So this is the last bit, not something very beautiful part. This part here is very fond memories. A lot of good times here. A lot of good times on Norton Summit. A lot of battles. I can't be in the rain. I've Everested Norton Summit, did it 33 times in a row once back in November 2014, I think it was. So I've done a lot of epic stuff on Norton Summit, and it always delivers. It always delivers, Norton Summit. It's a great climb. I was the first person to Everest it 33 times in a row. It was almost like, it was a long time. It was good. First world problems, first world experiences. I was grateful. So see my stomach's going in and out. I'm trying to stay relaxed. I'm in the drops, get more aero. When you're going this fast up a climb, aero is going to help. You want to be aero. So we're going for every second here in terms of aerodynamics. So you might as well get down in the drops. Get down in the drops. So you can see I've still got plenty of space between my stomach and my legs. I can still breathe pretty easily. Cycling's all about breathing. It's all about breathing. Have your mouth open. Never have your mouth closed unless you're trolling. And have your mouth open, breathe through your mouth, and it's like, you be breathing through your mouth, getting the oxygen in. Someone says, you got to keep breathing through your nose. It's like, you're not going to go very fast. Breathing through your nose. Fat is expelled via the breath. Google it up. How is fat burned in the body? Fat is burned. It leaves the body via carbon dioxide. You breathe it out. You breathe your fat out. So if your mouth's shut, how are you going to get rid of the fat? So you keep your mouth open mouth. So I'm sort of getting a bit closer to the e-bike, and I'm not really getting that much of a draft. I could be a lot closer. This whole climb, but I wanted to just get a full frame shot of the body, so you see the gains. I'm sort of going around the e-bike here, and I told them to speed up, and then boom, now we've got some pain. So the secret with pain is understand that pain is essential. Suffering is optional. Let me say that again. Pain is essential. Suffering is optional. Pain is essential. You're going to feel pain, man. Pain's not bad when you're training. And if you've got an injury, pain's a sign to stop, back off. But lactate pain, your legs sizzling, your heart pumping, that's fine, man. Little crazy face there, little pain face. Pain's good, man. Pain's your friend. So embrace the pain in the legs, in the arms, in the lungs and stuff. Just push like a motherfucker. Doesn't matter how you feel, hold the fucking wheel. So I've dropped off a bit here. I'm going to keep going, so I might as well get a bit more workout. And so I'm just basically giving some orders here. Keep going. And there we go. We're going to keep going a bit more. So pick up the speed a bit. And with another ride. That's a bright light, isn't it? That's a good... Lights are great ideas. If you're commuting, get a light. So look how visible that cyclist is. Look behind. You can see him behind me. You know, imagine if you didn't have a light, you wouldn't be able to see him at all. So very, very visible. The e-bike we're riding on, that does have a front light on. But look how visible that cyclist is behind me. You can still see him. You'll see him forever. That's really, really visible. And if it was flashing, they'd even be more visible. They'd be more visible. So daylight's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah, so this is the last bit of Norton Summit. This is the KOM's back there, the official finishing line. There's segments all over Norton Summit, but the official one for bragging rights is back there where we just passed that oak tree, the gum tree rather. And so you've got any questions about cycling with the power meter or pacing or whatever, let me know down below. You want to just stay relaxed in the head as possible, breathe and just push. Just focus on form, focus on relaxing your body, focus on breathing from the stomach, form, breathing, relax. Form, breathing, relax. Don't panic, just stay calm, breathe from your stomach, long, slow, deep, relaxed breaths. Keep that form, keep that upper body, solid, relaxed. So I'm hunching my shoulders here. Now I'm going to drop them again. So I'm doing just basically analyzing myself. Form, breathing, relax. BPR, breathing. BPR, or posture, you call it BPR. Posture, form, posture. Let's say posture, people understand that better. So BPR, breathing, posture, relax. Just focus on it the whole time. Breathing, posture, relax. Posture could be cadence, it could be pacing. Just breathe, BPR, breathe, pace, posture, relax. The more relaxed you are, the harder you can go. Remember that. The more relaxed, if you're too tense, no. You want to be like Zen, like water, just pumping it. So we're cruising, going pretty, sort of zoom along here. In the Two Down Under, they've got about 120 riders. They take the whole road, and they are flying around this part. In the Two Down Under 2016, they are flying around here. It's amazing. They just rip it up. Norton Summit. They should have banned the Strava because it just killed all our times like Norton Summit. But hey, first world problems. It's just part of the deal. Part of Strava. Strava is awesome. Strava is awesome. You follow me on Strava. I'll leave a link down below if I remember. But yeah, Strava's fantastic. Strava's got me very, very fit. I think Strava got me fitter than racing ever did because he's got all these time trials. In a race, you might sit on. For the last sprint. Maybe for the last climb, you might sit on the whole race. But yeah, I've done bike races before, but I didn't really feel like I burnt many calories because I was doing so well. I was just really fit, but then I either win the race or didn't win, but I didn't really go 100%. But when I was maybe a C grader moving up into B grade or A grade, then that's when you go 100% just to hang on. But once you're a certain level, the racing isn't that hard because you can sort of just hang on, sit in a bunch. But with TTs, you're always going to go 100% in TT on Strava, at least anyway. So that's where Strava just got me fitter than racing ever did. Running races are great because the running race you go full gas. This is the pub at Norton Summit, the post office, the classic one. And this is 7 p.m. We meet at 7 p.m. Tower Hotel every Thursday during summer. Come along if you're slow, if you're fast, come along anyway. And just see how long you can hang on for. Maybe get a head start if you want. 7 p.m. Tower Hotel. And we're kind of cruising down Old Norton Summit now. So again, when you're going this fast, just take the lane. Take the lane. And just be careful on the downhills, Be careful, don't go too fast. If you crash at this speed, it's not going to be too much fun if you get a blowout. So just take it easy. And get your experience up.